So next, we have early learning and community enrichment. I want to note for the board, there were 2 sheets on the dais. The only thing, those are replacement sheets, and the only thing that changed was the very last line on the page on each of those. It was a formula error. Otherwise, the data is exactly what you had seen in the packets that went home last week. So,
Good evening. My name is Steve Decker, Principal of Early Learning and Community Enrichment. As you can see, the budget that you have before you is extensive, and it shows the depth of the program, so it should really only take me probably about an hour to get through it. Just wanted to see what the response would be. One of the things that I want everyone to keep in mind as I give a general overview of the budget is that it was created with the mindset of expanding upon excellence in the academics, athletics, and the arts. And that's what the tradition of East Brunswick Public Schools has been, and that's what the tradition of community programs will be. The programs encompass early morning, after-school care, the ELA, Early Learning Academy, which is our preschool, and enrichment. One of the things that we've taken into account when we developed this budget was the increased enrollment that we've seen over the course of the years, and the trajectory demonstrates that. But an important aspect of this budget is to provide consistency within the programs throughout all schools. It's very vital. We can't have one after-school program providing certain activities and opportunities for students, and then another program in another facility not providing the same quality or quantity. So in order to be able to provide those things, we have to look at the budget in a way that will create formulas to develop protocols so that there is consistency within each facility. How you do that is by creating ratios, student to adult ratios, so we know what the projection is for next year in each facility, so then we can project the enrollment and then the need for student to adult ratio. We also take a look at what do we spend per pupil historically in programs, and then put a cost point factor to that. And then that's how we've developed each section of this budget, so that there's a consistency throughout each department. One of the things that's highlighted in a lot of the programs that we're doing are the improvements. How are we making these programs better for the community and for the children of East Brunswick? And I'm just going to highlight some of those now. So in every facility in the after-school program, we have homework tutors, but we also have instructional support assistant people as well. And with working with instructional coaches of schools and the basic skills instructors of the different elementary schools, that is used as an extension to an RTI model. Students that would be in a Tier 2 or Tier 3 RTI program who are in the after-school program can receive this extended instructional support that's specifically targeted to their needs, in addition to homework. So that's really been beneficial, and we're tracking that, and I'm just happy about that. It just makes me excited as a principal, because we're educating. This is a school after school. It's not babysitting. I want this to be the best program anywhere. So this is one component. Another component that we have is a PAL, a physical activity leader. It's really like a physical education teacher. So instead of just saying, let's go to the playground and play, we have structured activities that can specifically be related to what students are learning during the day in their physical education curriculum. So if a student is in the after-school program, and they're having difficulty with a strategy or skill with regard to a sporting activity, they can take the time to practice that skill with the physical activity leader. I think that's very crucial, because sometimes students will excel better in that lower after-school population than they might during the gym class. So, therefore, we are providing expanded excellence in athletics. Just like a moment ago I described, we're providing expanded excellence in academics. Now I'll move to expanding excellence in the arts. We have partnered with Mason Gross, as Ms. Becker gave us a nice plug right there. Thank you. What we do, we offer visual arts, We offer creative movement and chorus. So those are programs that are built in and embedded into the after-school program. They are not enrichment, where parents pay extra for. These are programs that are embedded into the after-school program. So we are providing now expansion of arts programs. And we did partner with Mason Gross, so children have an opportunity to participate and expand their knowledge in visual arts, creative movement, or dance, and chorus. Now, we also offer enrichment. Next week, at Hammersholt, we start digital filmmaking, which I'm excited about. It's a great opportunity for kids, digital filmmaking. Piano lessons is something new that we offered this year in after school. Obviously, we have sports, which we've had for many years. We continue to do that. Our coding program is doing wonderfully, always sells out. Our engineering, our STEM, and also our cooking class, our junior master chef class at Hammersholt, packed. So those are things that we offer as an extension above and beyond the program that a parent would pay for, which anybody can participate in the district. You do not have to belong to the ASK program to participate in those enrichment opportunities. That gives us a view of the after-school program and what's happening in early morning. And now I want to talk a little bit about our Early Learning Academy and some of the things that we are moving toward to improve that. You know, preschool is the first opportunity and it's the first experience for a child with education. It's the first experience of a parent with education. So it is vital for that experience to be of the utmost importance to me so that we can show excellence right from the start. Because these students that participate in our Early Learning Academy, they're going to East Brunswick kindergarten classes. Now, how do we make it better than any other preschool? Well, we take a look at what other preschools offer, and we compare, we improve, and we become better. And I feel that we are. Over the summer, we had a professional development with our kindergarten teachers and our Early Learning Academy teachers got together. And I said, let's examine the steps or the missing rungs in the ladder of learning that may be presenting themselves when students go to kindergarten. The kindergarten teachers shared some of those thoughts with our early learning teachers, and they had a great discussion. So they were able to say, listen, we need the kindergartners to know more about this or that. Okay, we got it. And then we took that and then started to build and develop our instructional model and refine it around those missing rungs, if you will. This year, we've begun to implement foundations in our preschool, which is exposing students to the foundations program that will be implemented and is implemented in the kindergarten program for letter recognition, sound, blends, writing, skywriting. It's really amazing what they do. And I encourage everyone to go visit the Community Programs Facebook page, which has videos and pictures of all these wonderful things that are happening in our programs, and our Twitter as well. One of the things in this budget is coding for preschool. I want to bring coding into preschool because it introduces students to simple patterns, simple mathematical concepts, to give direction to a ball to go on an iPad in a graph. We may think coding in preschool, that's crazy. No, it's not, because look at what students are doing on iPads. Last night we talked in the Finance Committee. Kids are on their phones, on iPads, swiping, doing all kinds of wonderful things. So it's amazing when you offer young children the opportunity. They're sponges. They will suck this stuff up, soak it in, and just the exposure to those things that may be complex down the road, we're offering them an exposure in a simplistic manner in the beginning. And I think that's a wonderful opportunity. So in this budget is the opportunity for coding on a weekly basis for our pre-K students. Another thing I want to do is rebuild our curriculum. I want to bolster it. So we're going to improve the curriculum. We're going to buy new curriculum. We're going to teach our teachers how to implement it. It's based on kindergarten readiness standards, which are 38. And those standards range from language arts, mathematics, social skills, social studies, gross motor skills. But the important piece to that is the assessment of those skills. So there's this assessment component that is built into this budget as well. That assessment piece goes into an iPad. Students play on the iPad. They select letters, number recognition. They drop shapes into puzzles, a host of activities that are game-oriented, that kids love. But while they play those games, the assessment data is being uploaded Wi-Fi to the teacher's assessment plate. And then all of those assessments are specifically addressed to kindergarten readiness standards and aligned. So they're being assessed on skills and what they're learning through the curriculum. It's all tied together. Now, the great thing about that is those assessments are used as instructional tools to guide instruction, to target specific areas that children need. It's also a wonderful way to open up conversations with parents, to let them know what they can do at home to help in the learning process. And I think, most importantly, it creates a seamless transition from a preschool program to East Brunswick Kindergarten Public Schools. If you go to any other preschool anywhere else in the surrounding area, and then you come to East Brunswick Public Schools, that's wonderful. But the kindergarten teacher doesn't necessarily know your kindergarten readiness, because we don't have that vehicle for communication. But in our program, we do, because that assessment data will be given to the kindergarten teacher and the homeschool that that student will go to. And those conversations can be had. And that's crucial, because when the student goes into kindergarten and the kindergarten teacher knows exactly where that student stands with regard to readiness skills, they start September right away. They have a snapshot already of that student. That's extremely important. I know, Ms. Gulick, you would agree with me, right? On that? Absolutely. So,
What's she gonna say?
Your cheering section of work.
All right.
There you go.
Good thing you're paying attention.
A little more enthusiastically, Deb. Yes.
so we are seeking a nominal increase in our fees because the program is increasing, the enrollment is increasing. And one thing, if you look through this budget, and I know you have, it's very in-depth, and I want it to be in-depth because it shows really how important this program is, and all the work we do. It's a tremendous amount of work, and it's a tremendous amount of opportunity. But to make it better, to make it the best it could be, we need to invest in making it the best it could be. Yes? Ms.
Oh, I'm
Becker?
sorry, I thought you were finished.
No.
I'll wait. Okay, so your passion and commitment for these programs is evident and just wonderful to see. The fact that you have the business and curriculum model of the school district to bring into these programs. I wanted you to talk about two of the things you, again, told us about in the Finance Committee, about how you've instituted professional development and also orientation, again, making it directly reflective of the business model, educational model that exists in the district, but to talk about it in these programs.
Sure. Well, in the summer, we have orientation, but I've also put in this budget professional development throughout the year, because it's vital. If we have these people working with children, they have to have professional development. We want them to be the best that they could possibly be. You know, one of the things that when I came into this program, a lot of people said to me, oh, well, they're kind of like, we're just a side program. And we provide a little aftercare and a little before care and you know that. And I refuse that. I refuse that. Because we are so much more than just that. Again, and I'll go back to my opening statement, we are a program that provides an expansion of excellence in the academics, athletics, and the arts. That's what we are, and that's what we provide. So in order to provide that, we need to have professional development for the people that are there with the children. They need to know how to respond to children's needs. and how to provide the best opportunities and the best environment, learning environment for those children. So that's an important aspect of the budget, yes.
No, it's a great aspect of the program. Thank you.
Thank
Now,
you.
you seem to have taken our community programs to new heights, and I think that that's great. I think it's such an important part of the day for kids. It's an unwind time, but also a time to kind of collect what you've done during the day and apply it,
Absolutely.
and in a meaningful environment and structured environment, so.
Yeah, and I think what you just said is sums it up in a nice way, structured environment. To apply what they've learned, and that's why we want to give opportunity in academics and athletics and the arts, because that's what we do during the day. That's what we're going to do at the end of the day in a structured way.
Did we ever worry that it might be too structured for this age group?
No, I mean, it's not structured in, like the school day would be. It's structured so that we rotate students into certain programs, because we have to have that. I don't want kids just to go run on the playground aimlessly and just go anywhere.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with that, and we actually, but that's actually a part of the program too. There's free
Good.
play.
I mean, I think
Absolutely.
there should be free play.
Well, there is, absolutely. And there's snack time where kids socialize and they sit together and they talk and they are able to hang out with their friends and peers. So all of those components are also built into the program as well.
I think there's also the consistency when you talk about the structure. One of the things that I like is the consistency in curriculum, and your professional development goes to that. Because I felt that sometimes we seem to be really fragmented. There was a couple of different programs in different schools, whereas now I think what your vision is, it didn't matter which school you were at for the Early Learning Academy, they're all sharing their ideas, the foundations is there, and I think that's a huge benefit to these students.
Absolutely. And I am going to speak with Ms. Gulick, because we do want to continue what I did last summer, which was have kindergarten teachers talk to the preschool teachers. And that was vital. I found that they really got so much out of that. And that's something that I'm looking forward to do this summer as well.
Yeah, I think there's so much benefit to the continuity of the care, whether it's the morning or after school or the Early Learning Academy. But on top of that, accomplishing it not just but turning it into, and I think that's something that's worth bringing up, positive contribution to net income that helps to fund other initiatives in the district. So if you want to talk a little bit about that, one thing that impressed me about the budget is the level of detail, the care that you went through to really streamline and identify. So not only do I see a growth in revenue, I'm also seeing a growth in margins. And that's the result of, you talked about yesterday some of the detail you went through to get it to that point.
Yes, thank you. There is a lot of detail, and it took a long time because it needed to be done. It needed to, there's so many components and pieces to this puzzle. As you see, there's multiple programs. It needs to be, and needed to be, organized and structured in a way that it related, every program was structured in the same methodology with regard to budgeting process, so that we had some ratio status to be able to know how many people are we going to have at this school, how many homework people. And so all those budget line items are accounted for. And one of the things that we also did was shaving time off of assistants at the end of the day. The most important time is for people to be there at 3 o'clock. Right when kids show up, because they're coming out of the classroom, they're coming down to the gym. We want to make sure they're safe, that they're there, they don't get on the bus by mistake or anything. But as time goes on throughout the day, parents pick their children up. So what happens? The student to adult ratio changes, right? So if a bunch of students are leaving and are gone by 5 o'clock or 5:30, but we still have the same amount of activity assistants, the ratio is way out. Well, what we do is, I had people work to a certain time where the majority of students have left. That was probably about a $75,000 cost savings. So just certain things like that, when you broke it out and you looked at it, we could save, but yet be efficient. It's not cutting for the sake of cutting. It's cutting for the sake of
Doing it smarter.
efficiency.
So it's an important point to make here is that all of these benefits are available to our children. It's not at a cost to the community, to the taxpayers. It's actually to the benefit of the community because it's generating income. These are services that parents need. I wish programs like this were available when my kids were little. I mean, it's not babysitting, it's way better.
That's the goal, and that's absolutely the goal.
Being that I was on the community programs committee for years before this, and also my son was in the initial class for ELA, the first year. And he was half-day with a 3-year-old, and then full day the year before kindergarten, and then into kindergarten seamlessly in East Brunswick. The transition was perfectly, the synergy was, I think it's genetics for me, but I think the schooling had a lot to do with it. How he was more, the kids that went through the East Brunswick system were more advanced in kindergarten than the kids that came from other nursery schools. And it shows through the ELA program. One thing I've talked about with Lou on this program is, I think people need to know how many children that we have in the district that go to before care and after care. And I don't know if anybody understands that we have a lot of kids, even the numbers of kids that go.
We probably, in aftercare, we could on any potential given day have over 1,000 students in aftercare.
That's a huge.
That's
a
up.
huge number.
Oh, yeah, and it's up from last year significantly.
And Mr. Modest, don't forget you're still on the community programs committee.
Yes,
And in morning care is almost 1,000 as well.
Yeah,
So
no,
it is big.
If you think about where this program was 10 years ago, really, under Mrs. Lax's leadership, Mr. Decker, and the committee, Mrs. Reese on the committee, Mr. Sealer, I mean, really, where you've taken this, it really is incredible, what you're providing now. It is a school in a school now. It's a school.
Yeah.
And what's great is that we struggle sometimes with the fact that we're a business, but we are product, if you will, or children, and how to align that with our athletic, academic, and art goals and enrichment for the kids. And that's what you're doing here. You're tempering the fact that it's an extension of the East Brunswick educational experience while approaching it from a very administrative business point of view, which is great.
Yeah, well, we want to provide the best possible service for the students and the parents of East Brunswick.
There you go.
And one of the things that I just want to highlight briefly, and I'm going to say this because it was brought up, like, people don't know, right? People don't know how many kids. People don't know the programs. I'm going to begin to create infomercials, which will be infomercials
Isn't that great?
about the programs, what we offer, the piano lessons, what the services are that they receive at the end of the day, little snapshots of what we do, and snapshots of the excellence that we provide. To me, that is important. It's vital for the program. And then, in conjunction with that, to use social media as a tool to communicate all of those wonderful things to the community and beyond. So that's where we're going with a lot of that as well.
And I just wanted to say also thank you for the variety of enrichment courses that you're providing, so that kids that may not even be in the after-school program. Filmmaking,
Absolutely.
Piano classes and the coding, it's wonderful.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you very much. Oh,
Mrs. Shaw?
I know. I'm trying to get in there with, especially with the ELA, are we still, even with our modest increase that is being proposed, are we still a good deal financially for parents in East Brunswick?
yeah. Yes, absolutely.
I mean, I don't really know how, private preschools tuition stacks up with what we are offering.
He does.
I did some comps that that you would do, comparable, so, and we're, even with the increase, we're still below, a good price point below what others are charging, yes.
So are we getting a lot of complaints from private preschools that we're hurting their attendance?
Nobody said anything to me.
No.
No? Well, what's the answer to that is that, well, I guess they're going to have to improve their programs if they want to be as good as we are.
Well, good luck. I have a lot of confidence in our
I do
school
too.
district.
I
And
do
the people
too.
that work for us, and I think they're the best. So,
Excellent report.
If
Very
I
good.
can just, for a moment, and while Steve is still here.
You can.
I think it's important, and if you would speak to this a little bit, Steve.
Sure.
The fact that with the Early Learning Academy, we've had to turn folks away because we haven't had the capacity in terms of space.
Yes, we have. Unfortunately, we have had to turn people away because we, as Bernie mentioned, we don't have the space. So, we've turned away between, I would say, at least 2 classrooms and more. Because what happens is people will come, they'll sign up, they'll get on a waiting list, but they don't wait to be called when there's an opening, they go somewhere else. So then when we call them, they're somewhere else, so that number goes down. But that initial number of registrants, it's a lot. And unfortunately, at this time, we don't have the ability to accommodate all the people who register.
And so, looking ahead, and earlier when Mr. Simmons asked a question in terms of other staffing and looking at what the projections are for sections, it does look like we'll be able to open another 2 sections of the ELA next year, at least another 2. So that, I think that'll be very helpful to the community that's been waiting to get in, and perhaps even more.
Absolutely, it's wonderful.
Schools or different, within the same 2 schools we're utilizing now?
We haven't looked at those details yet, but we know that we'll have opportunity.
Yes, Mrs. Shine. Good? Thank you.
Thank you.